Right now, a mechanic somewhere is signing weekly payments on a Matco toolbox that runs about $8,000 off the truck. 10 feet away, holding the same wrenches, sits a US General box you can roll out of a Harbor Freight today for under $800 cash. That Matco is the status symbol of the trade. Chrome, foam-lined drawers, built in the USA, the box every young tech wants parked in his bay. So how does the box beside it, the one under $800, end up costing you less every year it serves, while the $8,000 one turns into the most expensive way there is to own a set of drawers? Go stand in your own garage for a second. Whatever is under your bench right now, you paid for it once and it either earns that money back or it does not. Maybe it is a Harbor Freight box you felt a little cheap buying. Maybe you are the guy still writing checks to the truck. Either way, one of those two boxes in the cold open is the smarter buy for almost everyone watching this. And by the end, you are going to know which one for and why. That pride in the badge on the lid, the feeling that you made it the day the truck drops off your first real box, is the exact thing this comparison is going to turn against. Because there is one number that does not care about Chrome, and it is not the sticker price, it is cost per year. What a box costs you, divided by the years it serves before it quits or gets sold off. Run both of these boxes through that one number, and the whole duel flips on its head. The prices here come off the stores themselves, Harbor Freight and Matco. The ownership and the franchise numbers come straight out of Matco's own public filings in its franchise disclosure document. And every cost per year runs on a 20-year working career. So let me give the expensive box its due first, because it has earned it, and because if I skip this part, you should not trust a word of the verdict. The Matco box is well made. It is the opposite of junk. Matco states that its toolboxes are built in the USA in Jamestown, New York, and the tool press backs that up. This is real American steel, welded and finished in a real American factory at a time when almost nothing else in a tool store is, and the build is no joke. The newest Matco boxes are bigger and deeper than anything the brand has parked on a truck before. Roll one across a shop floor loaded, and it tracks like a bank vault on wheels. The drawers glide. The latches shut like a truck door. Set a Matco next to a discount box with the drawers pulled out, and a blindfolded mechanic could tell you which is which in about 4 seconds. There is a reason mechanics will argue about this box until the day they retire. So this is not a story about a bad box beating a good one. The Matco is a good box. Hold on to that, because it is the whole reason the verdict lands where it does. Now the other box. The USA General line is Harbor Freight's house brand of tool storage, and the one this whole comparison is built on is the 56-inch Series 3, an 8-drawer double bank roll cab that Harbor Freight sells for $780 on the coupon. It runs almost every month, and closer to $900 at the regular price. It gives you 23,000 cubic inches of storage, a rated load of over 4,000 pounds, and ball bearing slides good for 120 pounds a pair. Harbor Freight's own listing states a limited lifetime warranty on it, plus a 90-day satisfaction guarantee. And if that is still too much, you can get into a smaller USA General for as little as $450. Now here is the honest half nobody at that register volunteers. That box is made in China. 2 independent groups that track where products are manufactured, All American Made and All American, both reported that every single USA General toolbox is built in China, and that Harbor Freight does not print the country of origin anywhere on the product page. So the cheap side of this duel is not clean either. You are buying Chinese steel from a company that would rather you did not ask. But do not let that settle it yet, because the expensive side has its own asterisk. The Matco box is American. The rest of the truck often is not. SlashGear went down the same truck and found the Matco micro torch made in Taiwan, a Matco branded ball joint set made in China, and a 20-volt impact built by a maker with plants in the USA, China, Taiwan, India, and Vietnam. So the American-made badge covers the box. It does not always cover what you are stacking inside it. Quick gut check before the math. Which box is under your bench right now, and would you buy it again tomorrow? Drop the brand and the year you bought it in the comments, because a brand name and 10 years of hard use is the only tool review that ever meant a thing, and I read them. So put the badges down and do the one piece of arithmetic that settles this. Both of these boxes do the identical working job. They hold your tools, they roll, they take a beating for years. So take what each one costs and spread it across a 20-year career, because a good box lasts at least that long. The US General 56-inch runs $780. Divide that across 20 years, and it costs you about $39 a year to own. Now the Matco, a 4S box off the truck, does not have one clean sticker. It runs anywhere from around $6,000 for a bare double bay up to more than $12,000 loaded. And a typical box off the truck lands right around $8,000. Spread $8,000 across the same 20 years, and it costs you about $400 a year. Same job, same drawers rolling across the same concrete. One costs you about $39 a year. The other costs about $400. That is more than 10 times as much money every single year for a box that holds the same wrenches. Put it another way, over that 20-year career, the gap between the two boxes is more than $7,000, which is enough to buy 9 more US General boxes and still walk out of the store with cash in your pocket. And here's the part that should stop you cold. That gap, the 10-to-1 gap, was worked out before anyone signed a single financing contract, because almost nobody pays $8,000 for a toolbox in cash. It gets financed. So the real question is what that extra money is paying for, because it is not a better box. Watch how the truck sells it. You do not write a check. You sign up for weekly payments, right there off the side of the truck, and you chip away at them while you work. Matco offers its distributors 3 separate customer financing programs, so the dealer can carry you on amounts he could never float himself. And tool truck money is not cheap money. It is borrowed money carried at interest on a box that follows you for years. The tech who just signed for that box feels like he arrived. He should have read the second number on the contract, because the whole trade knows a tell that nobody on the truck says out loud. Snap-on, the biggest truck of them all, recommends that mechanics pay most of these purchases off in under 10 weeks. Under 10 weeks. And yet techs carry these boxes on the truck for years. Stretch an $8,000 box over years instead of 10 weeks, and the real number you hand over runs well past the sticker. The $39 against $400 was the polite version. The financing makes it worse. This right here is why we built the Buy It for Life brand ledger, and this is the honest place to hand it to you, not buried at the end. It is a $29 breakdown of the major tool and tool storage brands, ranked the same way this video ranks them, by what each one costs you per year of real service, with the country of origin and the warranty term printed next to every last entry. US General is in it. Matco is in it. Extreme Tools, Craftsman, the whole truck lineup, all of it laid flat, so you never have to stand in an aisle or at the side of a truck again doing this math in your head under pressure while a salesman waits. The link is in the description. Alright? Because so far this has all been about the price you can see. The uglier number is the one that shows up later when you try to get back out. Say the mechanic wants out. Money gets tight or he is leaving the trade, and he goes to sell the $8,000 box. Used listings tell a hard story. Owners on the shop forums report these boxes giving back about half their value in the first few years, and often a good deal more than half. That is the resale nobody mentions the day the truck drops it off. And what happens there is the part that still does not sit right with people. Compare that mechanic to the man who paid cash for the value box. Whatever his box sells for used is gravy because he already earned his money back at $39 a year, and he was never underwater because he never borrowed to get in. So the box that was sold as an investment gave back half its value on the used market. The one everybody calls cheap had already earned back every dollar it cost. But this was never about one box off one truck. It was about the entire machine parked behind it. Ask where that $8,000 price goes, and you stop looking at steel and start looking at a business model. Matco is not, at its core, a toolbox company. In its parent company's own public filings, Matco is described as selling through a network of franchise mobile distributors, the people who own those trucks, who buy the tools and resell them to you directly. Matco itself is a wholly owned subsidiary of a company called Vontier, which was spun off from Fortive back in 2020, which was spun off from Danaher before that. In those same filings, Matco is named as a guarantor on $1.6 billion of the parent company's debt. The badge on your lid is a line item on a very large balance sheet, and the man selling you that box is not getting rich either. According to Matco's 2023 franchise disclosure document, becoming one of those distributors costs somewhere between $77,000 and $313,000 just to get started, with an $8,000 franchise fee and a minimum opening inventory of $50,000 to $84,000 spread across a catalog of at least 18,300 items. To earn the right to sell you a toolbox, he went into the hole for the price of a house down payment, and then some. The people who felt the strain first were the distributors themselves. And here is the number that reframes the whole duel. In a single recent year, the franchise disclosure document reports that of about 1,500 Matco distributors, 265 of them closed or ceased operations. 265 trucks in 1 year gone. On top of that, a class action brought by the firm Marks & Klein alleges that Matco and its lender withheld secret 3-year income projections from the very people taking out loans to become distributors. Projections the applicants were never shown. That is the machine at the other end of your weekly payment, so carry it all the way back to your own bay. When you pay $8,000 for that box, you are not paying for a better place to keep wrenches. You are paying for the truck, the badge, and the finance arm wrapped around it, plus your small share of a franchise system where 265 trucks a year do not make it. The box is good. Almost none of that $8,000 is the box. So here is the verdict, the way it fits on the back of a work order. For almost everyone watching this, homeowners, weekend mechanics, and most working tradesmen buy the US General 56-inch Series 3. $780, cash, limited lifetime warranty, per Harbor Freight's own listing. It holds your tools as well as a truck box for almost everything any of us do with a toolbox, and you take no depreciation hit that matters, because you never financed a dime of it. Now the honest step up, because I am not going to pretend the China stamp does not exist. If Made in America steel matters to you, and for some of you it truly does, do not let anyone push you onto the truck to get it. The buy is Extreme Tools out of Naperville, Illinois, which builds most of its RX line in the USA, starting under $2,000 for the 41-inch. Or the Craftsman 2000 series made in the USA with global materials in Sedalia, Missouri for around $540. Both are American built. Both are a fraction of the truck price. That is the honest answer to the one real knock on the value box. And notice who is not on that list. The Matco. Not because it is a bad box, I told you at the top. It is a good American built box, and I meant every word. The loser here is not the Matco brand. The loser is the financed truck box, whoever builds it. Bought outright in cash, a Matco is a defensible splurge for a pro who wants the best and can lay the money down on the spot. Bought the way the truck sells it, weekly payments, interest off a dealer network where 265 of about 1,500 trucks folded in a single year, it is the most expensive way there is to own a box. Buy once, cry once only works if you paid cash for it. So in that tool aisle, the whole decision comes down to one question. A Matco is built well, nobody is arguing that. How many years and how much interest are you willing to pay for the badge on the lid? Strip away the chrome in the truck and the weekly payment, and both sides come down to the same thing, a steel box that holds wrenches, except one of them costs you more than 10 times as much to own. Read the price tag and then read the interest and buy the box your money survives. Next time, I am putting the tool truck's own flagship, the Snap-on roll cab, on the very same scale and running the interest math the salesman will never run for you.